the day. It's Consus, the former world champion, going up against Clement, the Danish representative hot dog player. And here we get to see some stats. Of course, a lot of people know Consus, but still, dear and beloved Gelotris, talk to me a bit about these players.
If you don't know Consus, then just look at these stats. A win rate of 82% in this league format, where only the best of the best play is very insane. So we have Clement on the other side, 46%, with pretty good precision though. 52 isn't too bad. So if
fast
he
on
gets
his guesses
right
as well,
at the same time, at the right time, can still pull something off. We didn't have any Consus game last week, therefore we are happy to see him back play. This time against Clement.
As you can see, Clement, quite a task ahead of him in order to climb up to the stairs of which Consus has stood. But, I mean, it starts somewhere, and Clement, while he might not be the best in the world, still, last week surprised many people when he took down Debray. So maybe it's time for another upset. We'll have to see.
2-1 against Debray last week, indeed. And we start off... it's saying the town under the... This is actually the license plate that you can see on the side and on the top of the car. It does happen in Mexico, also in Colombia, where you also have the town.
Wait, they both have it?
But yeah, we have Quintana Roo written on top. Therefore, you already know which state you are.
Oh, Clement went further north last second. He had it. Then opted to switch off. Obviously, it's round 1, so it's not going to be detrimental damage come through. But still, he was right on it. But I don't think he ever saw the city name on the taxi to begin with. So didn't opt to fully commit to the city. Consus, on the other hand, quickly, I mean, as we always see him do, found the info, instantly makes use of it.
Yep, and that's also how Consus' playstyle is, especially in moving games. I see that a lot from Consus, where he really takes his time. He doesn't rush it. He's looking around and he's thinking, maybe I have the clues that I need just around me. And that was the case on that round. He didn't really move at all. All the information right there on the taxi, used that to get the right city.
That sign right there said something about Polski. Does that mean we're in Poland? Well, I guess time will tell.
That is indeed right. We have the double white lines. We have some Polish language. The B-type guardrail, which is the flat type. Yeah. It's only in a couple countries in Europe.
Chat is saying around Krakow. We'll see if they're going to be right. It's actually kind of fun now that we're doing this in sync with chat and not in sync with the players, so we can kind of keep track of how good chat is at guessing, because usually they can always just sit back and go, noob casters, but now we can call the chat noobs as well. It's a good time.
Maybe I'll try to remember those who always make good shouts in the chat, so I can just read that out.
Exactly. And it wasn't too far off. Krakow around there, indeed. So good guess from chat. Trying to get those ones lined up as Clement, once again, taking damage here. Consus coming off to a really good start.
Which means from now on, who was it? It was Roquicio. Good shout. I will trust you from now on any Poland shouts. And what do we think here?
Wait a minute.
I am waiting a minute.
There's a good chance of this is Denmark. What? We had 3 Denmarks last week. I was not expecting us to get any this week. I thought we had used all the Denmark locations in one weekend. But oh my loud, here we are. Nederby is where we are. As you can see, a lot of bus lines, a lot of bicycle lines, but unfortunately they don't help you too much in this view. I don't think Danish bike route meta is really something that a lot of people are digging into.
Yeah, because you have the road numbers pretty ordered in Denmark.
Yeah.
So if you know, you know. I don't. Shame on me.
This is one of the ferries that go to some of the smaller islands, or from one of the smaller islands. They're both going east side. I like that Clement is looking north. Clement, rare that he gets a home field round. He was looking up there too, but not quite to be. Takes 32 damage in his own country.
Yeah, usually you are happy when you see a big body of water in countries, because that will rule down the area to guess, but Denmark just isn't one of those countries where it really helps.
Not quite.
Of water all around.
As a matter of fact, you can't go anywhere in Denmark and be further than 50 kilometers from the ocean.
50 kilometers is the maximum. Wow.
That's the maximum distance you can be from the ocean in Denmark, which is why most people in Denmark know how to swim. But from a country with a lot of water to a country surrounded by a lot of water, straight to India we go here in round number 4.
We some Hindi language here and there. It's down the area a little bit. Language is a very good clue, very important clue to know if you're trying to make a good guess in India. However, besides that, I mean, there's also a lot of information. It's an information-heavy country where you have the town names written everywhere. So if you can make that one out, will allow you to 5k one or another country, which Consus just did, still on the flawless 6,000 health.
The 8 damage, 5k, doesn't really hurt that much, but still, we give them credit when they find him. Impressive one there. Consus, no doubt about it. There's Clement now trying to put a little bit of speed on this one. Goes towards the western side of Romania. What are you thinking here, Joseph?
He does. I'm not sure why, because if you see a lot of tile roofs, that's leading you to the west usually in Romania. That's where you can use that clue to put pressure on. But in this case, we didn't have it. So maybe he was just trying to get out his vibe guess before Consus gets to more information, because usually he can make more use of that.
Exactly. Into round 6 we go. Clement still alive, just broke under 4,000 health, which, I mean, again, everything considered, seeing as where they are on the leaderboards, knowing that Consus is a former world champion looking to try and go back and reclaim that title this year. Clement is faring in pretty well. Again, I mean, all you really need is one slip up and you're right back in the game, especially with the multipliers that we have now. But against a guy like Consus, you just don't imagine that happening.
Nope, not really. And we are in Croatia here, I think. With those round concrete poles, a lot of red bricks used in their architecture. The yellow town entry sign is also something we passed, which is commonly found in that area of Europe. It is quite hilly, so we should be more around Zagreb rather than east.
Consus still yet to take any damage at all. Let's see if maybe Clement can hit home on this one. Nope, not quite to be. Consus, you see all the small micro adjustments there in the end. Scanning for mountains, scanning for various locations that could help him into a better position. And once again, is in the better spot than Clement. It's not really because Clement is playing all that poorly right now. Consus is just closer on every single guess.
Yeah, really hard to get closer against Consus. He's very precise. And now again we have Clement putting the pressure on Consus, taking his sweet 15 extra more seconds to look around. Checking the copyright, he's checking the car, the surroundings. He was looking at that sign, all that in a matter of 15 seconds. And once still, again,
there's just no pushing him.
No chance for Clement to put down any points from Consus.
Nope, it's tough. It's tough for sure. And now Clement, I mean, back as far up against the wall as possible here, needs to pretty much 100 to 0. Consus, 6,000 health left to work with.
We have talked about the multi-merchants earlier. Let's see, Clement is in a position where he could pull that off.
Yep.
If he gets lucky in this case.
So much info on that side.
Straightforward though. Yes, we are in Austria. If Tullin sounds familiar. 23 kilometers away. I think Tullin.
Maybe you're thinking about Tallinn.
But
I don't think you want to go Baltics.
Ideally, and I don't think you ever signed to Tallinn from Austria. Who knows?
You never know. You never know where the teleports are set up. 12 seconds to go, though. Clement taking his time, of course. He's really a breath away from death. As Consus here, knowing he has all the time to work with, prefers to play in this style. Let's see who's gonna get it. Clement needs it, and he will finally be able to at least just, even if it's more for emotional damage, then hit home to some extent. Consus not gonna get away with a flawless round, but Clement still has a long way to go.
Yeah, always good for the mantle to at least put some damage down the board. As we move over to this round, we are in Brazil, and if Brazil, I mean, this is very, very hard.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Maybe that's good.
It's good for Clement. It's very bad for Consus.
Yeah.
It seems like they both end up in Southern Goiás.
Last second flex, Consus. Not able to win it this round either. He needs to survive just one more, but look at the damage come through because of the multipliers. Now, One more hit like that, and Clement could turn this one around. It's round 10. It's the final one. He needs a big country. What is he getting here?
Yes, we are in the US here. I do agree with the southern guess. I don't really know if it's as far. I mean, it is very sandy and swampy. Yeah, I think Florida is a good guess.
3 seconds.
Is a good
Consus
guess,
going Alabama. He's going further west.
Doesn't agree.
And it is going to be Consus closer.
Wow.
Distance could have been enough for Clement to win it had it been the other way around, but not quite to be. Clement felt pressured, had to go for something, ended up being off to the east. So Consus ahead 1-0. This feels like that was the whole 3-game series. This was a long game. Clement staying in it for a long, long time, but Consus, again, with the experience that he has in this game, able to come out victorious. 1-0.
And that is a relief for Consus, because especially on the last 2 rounds, it could have been anyone's game, really.
Yeah, truly.
It could have been anyone's game, so all the lead was for nothing, pretty much.
Exactly.
And if it would have been Florida, which was definitely possible, then it would have been Clement's game, so...
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Sometimes it's... And that's why when you see people that play really, really fast, when they're up against a guy that will, I mean, win a lot of those rounds, it doesn't really matter to them and their playstyle if they take 200 damage there, 300 damage there, because they know they just need that one round where the 15 seconds the other guy gets to work with isn't enough, and then that's when they win it. But for Clement, maybe had he had one more round to work with, that could have been the case, but not quite so here. Into no move we go, and what are we seeing here? Dog meta, car meta in the distance. What are we looking at here, Gilotris?
Is that a Fiat? If it is, I want to guess Italy. The lamp looks more Spanish. I mean, I have mixed feelings. It could also be Greece, because we have
is saying islands, potentially. Out on the islands, Ibiza.
It looks weird like that.
Something along those lines. Let's see if it's gonna be. It's gonna be in Malta. Okay.
Wow, you don't see that often.
And again,
missing Malta around from both sides.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense. Now the short license plate on the back also makes sense. Very commonly found in Malta.
Chat is as confused as we are, and I think Clement is like, could that just have been in the previous game? Could have just had that one there. That would have been my game. Not quite so though, but even so, for Clement, a nice way to start this one, taking 1200 health off of Consus.
And we are back in Brazil. Looks a bit more northern, I want to say. This architecture. I mean, places where it can look like this is Acre, but it's too flat for Acre. Feel like, but we have Acre guys from Consus. Okay, thank you for confirming my thought. Because it looks like Acre, but it is so flat. Usually you see a little bit of hills going on. And this is a very, very common 50-50. The north of Brazil and Acre can look alike.
A lot of distance in between the two, and I guess fortunately for them both, it's in the middle of their guesses, so damage will only be 1500, or 500, sorry, I should say. But again, a round where, for Clement, I think he needs it more than Consus, because Consus really doesn't make mistakes normally in that fashion. So this could have been a round where we're going to climb back up.
Yeah, I mean, Mato Grosso did make sense with the terrain, with how flat it was. But everything else did not look like Mato Grosso at all. It's a very interesting location once again in this game. And this is a very straightforward road for a lot of these pro players. It's a very remote coverage. In Canada, we have the striped car as well on all of this road.
And the snow.
With the winter coverage, everything, yes, everything combined makes it very distinct. And they both will know it.
Here we go. Into the mountains.
We are in the mountains.
First one to get the map open.
Let's see, what do we have to work with? Double pole is interesting. That's something you see a lot in Czechoslovakia. We have them both in Slovakia, which makes more sense with how mountainous it is. Of course, in Czechia you also have some mountains, but most of them are in Slovakia.
And with that damage come through, Consus now finds himself ahead. We saw in the previous game that the lead doesn't necessarily matter all that much, but now, at least for the comfort of it, Consus set up by 100 points coming into round 5.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, the country is straightforward to both of them. We have the low cam, we have those posts, both Japanese clues. But besides that, I don't see anything. We don't see pole plates. Nope. Usually you need those plates
Clement
to make a region guess, but...
northeast of Tokyo. Let's see if Consus follows him. He actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both out there. But again, the small micro readjustments there in the end pushes Consus just a little bit closer to the target and maintains his lead over his opponent Clement. We'll see now, coming into the next round, if perhaps Clement could do something to strike back. He had a real good hit in the first round, but 5 rounds after that, it's been all Consus.
Indeed. We are in South America, here, straight off the bat, with this brick building architecture, this landscape. However, I am not very certain about the country yet. It does look like Colombia. However, we don't have any yellow license plates. We have some markings on the pole, which could be something, but we have 3 cars without a yellow plate.
Is that viable information? What's said on the pole there?
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that marker on the pole. There's a lot of different pole markings in South America in general.
Tell that, I mean, with how fast Clement's been playing the last couple of rounds now, really slowing things down here, means that this round, not as straightforward as the other ones might have been, at least in terms of the initial info. They both know that it's Peru, but where are we? Oh, Clement surprised by his own guess there. And he's gonna take it!
Wow.
What a turnaround! He pretty much flicked his mouse 800 kilometers further south a second ago. Maybe not 800, but close there too. And you saw when they got the score, I was like, oh wow, I got surprisingly close on that one.
From actually getting the right country to also being on it.
Wow. I feel like he can't really help but smiling a bit right now. He's trying to hold it back because he knows he's on camera. I want to be cool and all that, but there's a smile hitting behind that straight face. I love it. Good game on that one, which takes us now into NMPC. Still image is what we're playing with.
That is all we see, pretty much. An image, we have to make a guess based on it, is the Netherlands.
Oh, now they've both done it. Clement got beaten by Consus in Denmark. And now Clement takes out Consus in Netherlands. Now they have one on each other. It's good. I like it.
I mean, it's also 2 countries where it's literally impossible to region guess. So.
And they were both in round 1 or round 2, so it didn't really matter that much. But I still, for the sake of the rivalry, I'm all for it. But now, Turkey round, at least according to what these guys are thinking, I will allow you, Jalo, just to take the mic and 5k this one.
I do agree with them. Not much to work with. It looks like that's an industrial building. Looks like a barn or something. Usually that's bad because those don't have the usual architectural clues you need. But it is lush green, which puts you more towards the north of the country. Not necessarily, but more likely. Also with how mountainous it is, it can look like this along the whole span of the north in Turkey. Therefore, it is very, very hard to pick on a side. Yeah. Ideally, they should go somewhere in the middle to cover how. And it is the spring coverage in Kahramanmaraş, which I always miss. I've never gotten it right. It looks like the north down there.
Well, Consus got debated by that one. Clement, fortunately, a bit closer on it, will get out victorious as we go into round number 3, which looks like border territory, at least according to Clement here.
Not much to work with. I don't know if we have double blues on the license plate there. If so, then the country should be Italy. Just outside Milan. And Clement, very, very close there.
Once again, Clement 3 rounds in. I know the game is far from done, but flawless so far. Maybe the Peru round that got him to this position has got Consus a little baffled. Now, though, into a desolate, desolate place we go.
We do indeed. Not much to work with here again, but I would say it looks like Bolivia, Peru. One of the two, maybe.
Sounds like a lot of damage to me.
Landscape does look like I can't pick a side.
You gotta commit.
Front. We are looking at the front of the car. I assume.
Clement is currently zoomed towards the border of Paraguay, but now back towards La Paz. Okay, makes more sense.
Yeah.
At least according to what you've been saying and where Consus is set up.
Yeah, usually, if you have a no-move format, you can look back, and in Bolivia, you usually have a little smudge on the back of the camera. But now we don't see it to confirm it.
10 seconds.
Which country it is, but let's see. I don't know the road. Therefore, I prefer Peru because Bolivia has very limited coverage.
They're both sat right around the same position. This could have been a repeat situation for Clement had he been able to just flick up towards Lima and actually win the game in this round. That would have been insane. Completely scripted.
Yeah. I mean, but Peru is another country which is just so hard to GeoGuessr. We have seen it earlier on the match.
It's the fourth Peru that we get as well, where there's been quite a bit of distance to the guesses. Consus now looking towards Denmark. I'm not sure about those fences in Denmark on the left side.
Is it concrete?
It looks like a wooden pole, no?
Can't tell.
I'm not even sure about the trees in Denmark.
Can't tell.
Maybe Consus knows my country better than I do. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because he's a world champion, so I'm not gonna try to battle him on it. Also, there's a big rock there. Not a lot of rocks in Denmark. At least not on Sealand. Maybe it's on Holm then, like southeast of Sweden, the small island there. But I don't think it's Denmark. Clement is still looking down towards Germany. He's all the way down in southern France. This is gonna be game.
Interesting. Bit of vegetation looks a bit more southern.
Oh, and he's right! Clement, you can see it on his face. So excited, so happy. He takes down the former world champion. Clement, the underdog, has done it 2 weeks in a row.
What a story we have here. From Consus being almost not beatable at all on the moving game, being very dominant.
Insane.
To the no-move game,